Welcome everyone to the MudRoom, our weekly free and live uncommon sense parenting class. How is everyone today? It is gorgeous here. I've been so enjoying the sun, as you can see. I hope everyone is being able to get out safely and enjoy the outdoors. The vitamin D is just so important. It's such a mood booster. So we've talked about calm before, and something that comes up every time I tell parents to help their child stay calm is, okay, but they don't like reading books. They don't like meditating or doing yoga and they'll come up with just an absolute laundry list of quote unquote calming activities that are basically pulled out of a promotional video for a spa. They'll say, my child is only calm when we're watching TV, but as soon as I turn the TV off, they hit the roof again. So today I want to talk about the kind of chasm-sized difference between calm and quiet. Because again, as adults, we tend to conflate the two terms, and by mixing them up, it's causing quite a few problems that are solved almost instantly just by making sure that we understand the words that we're using and using them appropriately. So before we get into it, allow me to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Allana Robinson, and I'm a parenting effectiveness coach. I help parents of toddlers, preschoolers, and kindergartners understand why their children are misbehaving and how to fix it without yelling, shaming, or timeouts. I'm your host here on the MudRoom. I'm the host of the Parenting Posse Facebook group, and I'm the creator of the Parentability program, where I help you raise well-behaved kids of your own. If you're watching, please say hi. Let me know you're here. If you're watching the replay, drop me a replay in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notifications so that you never miss a class. All right, let's get into it. As I said, a lot of parents will come to me and say that their kids are only ever calm when they're watching TV. If they aren't in front of the TV, they're getting into things, they're destroying things, they're constantly asking for a snack, maybe they're jumping off the furniture, they're constantly asking for your attention or demanding your attention, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. And you're complaining that, they can't play by themselves. They'll never just go play, even if you understand the value of making them go play on their own. The only time that they get out of your face is when you put them in front of a screen. And you want them to be able to play by themselves without destroying the house or constantly demanding your food or whining. You want to be able to live with your child, not just be a clown who is constantly being asked to entertain your young kids. Especially right now, with working from home and childcare and school being so up in the air in the coming months, you really need them to be able to play independently. But because it's do or die, you feel like your only option is to stick them in front of a screen because at least then they're calm, right? Only they're not calm. They're quiet. There is a big difference. To be calm means that your nervous system is running just right. We're talking about your arousal level here. You're not hyper-aroused, which means that your nervous system is running too fast, and you're not hypo-aroused, which means that your nervous system is too sluggish. So when you're hyper-aroused, you're just generally worked up. You're on high alert. Physically, your heart is beating really fast. Generally, your mind is running a mile a minute. You're ready to act, right? Everybody knows what this feels like. And there are probably some people watching going, wait, that's always how I feel. And that, my friends, is a problem. That means that you're so used to being hyper aroused that that's how your body now feels safest. So chances are that if you start to feel yourself coming out of that state, that you're going to force yourself back into it. you're going to get yourself worked up again because your body isn't used to being calm. So it will start to read that feeling of calming down as potentially dangerous, as potentially opening yourself up for attack. And this is what happens with our kids too. Many parents will tell me, well, it's almost like when he starts to calm down, he tries to get himself worked up again. Yep, that is a thing. The opposite is also true. When you're hypo-aroused, you feel lethargic, sluggish. You're not relaxed. Relaxation is actually a calm state. You know when you feel like I just can't do anything. I can't get out of bed. I can't get up the energy to do even simple things like brush my hair or brush my teeth. I'm just heavy feeling. That's hypo-aroused. And just like hyperarousal, you can get stuck in hypoarousal, right? There's that saying, the less you do, the less you want to do. And that can become your baseline for long enough that you forget what calm feels like. And you will unconsciously force yourself to stay in that state because it's familiar and it's safe. So then there's calm. Calm is that just right feeling. You're alert, you're engaged, you're relaxed, you feel capable of responding to anything that comes your way. That is where we want our kids to hang out. That is where kids play best. Now, some kids have extreme difficulties with this. We've talked about what to do if your child is never calm before. So you can check that out if you're like, oh my God, my child is always hyper-aroused or hypo-aroused. There's no in between. But for most people, we develop strategies to keep ourselves in that just right state. And those strategies don't always look super zen, okay? They don't always look like meditation. They don't always look like yoga. They don't always look like curling up with a book or taking a bath. They can look really active and messy. And generally, they have a very heavy sensory component to it. So that might be taking a run. That might be jumping. It might be hanging upside down. It might be punching things. It might be listening to loud music. It might be so many things that don't have the optics of being calm. But after you or your child does them, you'll find yourself in that just right space. Versus quiet. Quiet is just quiet. Quiet means that you're still and physically quiet. You just aren't making any sound. You can be quiet and hyper or hypo-aroused. Quiet does not mean calm, okay? So when parents say to me, oh, but he's only calm when he's watching TV, but then as soon as we turn it off, he's through the roof again, that means he is not calm while he's watching TV. That means he is quiet while he's watching TV. TV is one of those things that, while we're still consuming it, it is, while we're still consuming it, there we go. It is actually extremely stimulating. It requires our brain to constantly be catching up and paying attention. I challenge you to watch any children's show that was made after 1995 and count to 30 before there's a camera angle change. Before 1995, we tended to film children's shows more from like a single angle for an entire scene. Like watch old Sesame Street and, you know, there's the camera and all the stuff happens in front of it until the scene changes entirely. But now we've gotten a lot more cinematic with it. We're constantly changing them more than once a minute. And that takes a lot of brain power. It consumes a lot of energy having to constantly reconcile that information, as well as keep up with the plot lines, process all the visual information and all the audio information. TV is not a good activity for children who are hyper-aroused because it does not calm their nervous system. It stimulates it. All it does is make them quiet. And yes, sometimes that's exactly what you need is just for them to be still and quiet. But don't mistake that for calm, because they aren't the same thing. And once you can separate out those two, quiet versus calm, you're going to notice that you react much differently to your child. It's going to get a lot easier to recognize what they actually need. I had a parent in Parentability recently say that after she was able to figure out what her child's calming things were, and she began weaving them into their life more, she noticed that her daughter was having less emotional outbursts. She wasn't having difficulty with screen time anymore. She was participating more in her virtual school calls, and bedtimes and meal times just became a lot easier. There was less struggle. That's a lot of positive change just from separating out quiet and calm. And I know that this can be difficult to figure out. It's not always easy to pick up the things that calm them down versus just make them quiet and still. It actually takes a lot of observation, and it also takes accepting that what your child finds calming might not be what you consider calming. There can be a lot of tension there when what your child finds calming makes you hyper-aroused. But I promise it is worth looking for it, recognizing it, and giving them more of it. Because when you do, you'll notice that your child can then go play for long periods of time without any issues. They can watch a few episodes of TV and it won't dissolve them into a screaming, distraught mess when you turn it off. You'll be able to get through meal times without everything becoming a huge fight because they'll be calm, actually calm. And if you need help figuring that out, I invite you to come and continue the conversation with us in the Parenting Posse. Our members can help you brainstorm and identify those calming things. And you can find the link for that in the description. So does that sound doable? Like something that you can start paying a bit more attention to? Some parents, as soon as they recognize the difference, go, oh my God, yes, I know what that thing is that calms them down is. For other parents, it takes work, a lot of work. But I promise you it's always there. It is always there. It just isn't always obvious. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you again next week for another Uncommon Sense Parenting class. Bye.